New York is just one of those places where you could walk around with anything on your face and no one's gonna blink twice. They're just gonna be like, whatever.
You could like throw on heels with a pair of pajamas and people would be like, how chic of her.
The moment you allow yourself to remove toxic friends and toxic relationships out of your life will truly change. And we've said it a million times. 4 shiny quarters are better than 100 dull pennies.
Oh yeah, no question.
Oh no, get this. It's kickball and tippy cup or flippy cup league.
We call it flip cup, but I guess you guys call it
flip cup. That's like how old I'm getting. I meant flip cup. Welcome back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I hate to be this person because I know we're all talking about the weather, but you know how when you're outside for a long time, your mouth kind of freezes and it's hard to move for a bit?
Yes.
That's what my mouth is. I'm like, I have to like do some jaw exercises because my mouth is like stuck, frozen shut.
Oh, yes, because Harrison's there and he was walking home last night and he told me it was like 11 degrees. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's frigid.
It is so cold. Speaking of, not to jump right into our thorn of the week, but I'm going to because you brought Harrison up in New York. I'm going to share my thorn because what Alex did is something that my mom used to do to me as a child. So all of a sudden we're on. Oh, no, I've told this before, I think.
But childhood trauma.
I know. I was like, I feel like I'm back to being a child again. But we were talking on the phone on Monday and Alex was like, oh my God, I was going to surprise you and come to New York City and just show up at recording. And I was like, but you aren't now. And you're just, okay.
If somebody, this poses a good question. If someone was going to surprise you but didn't end up surprising you, do you even want to know? Or do you just want them to shut the heck up and not even tell you?
I don't know, because when I was a kid, my mom used to always do the, oh my gosh, Jordan, I was at the store and I found you the cutest shirt ever. Like, it would look so cute on you. And I would be like, oh my gosh, did you get it? Can I see it? And she's like, no, I didn't actually buy it. And I was like, why did you get my hopes up? But she would do that. Like, still to this day, she'll be like, oh my God, I found you the cutest pair of shoes. Like, you would love them. And I'm like, did you get them? Do you know where they're from? She's like, I can't remember. I saw them on some type of like Instagram ad. And I'm like, are you kidding? You don't even have the source?
Yeah, it like doesn't take it over the finish line. That's a classic. I saw it on an Instagram ad. I have no idea because those are gone forever. Like, you cannot find, when you're just like swiping and you get served an Instagram ad, they're gone. But do you like being surprised? Because some people hate being surprised, like for a birthday or just in general.
So it depends. Like, if you were to surprise me for a recording we already had scheduled, I would be so okay with that because it's already planned. But if you were to be like, oh my God, I'm coming to New York on Monday, like an hour before you landed, I would be, and if you were like, so I have the whole week to do something, that would give me anxiety because I'm like, wait, now I have to just rearrange my entire week. Like, I'm not good with surprises where I have to change my schedule that I've already thought of for the day or the week, if that makes sense.
I do think that those kinds of surprises are like abrupt and disruptive. I do like the kind of surprises though where like if one friend was coming in town and then she brought another friend and that friend surprised you and like everything was planned. I am for that kind of surprise.
Do you like surprise parties?
Oh, it's tough because they totally catch you off guard. And in order to be in like party mentality, that's one thing. But then to be in hosting party mentality, that's a whole other thing. So if I have to pick, I'm actually picking, yes, I do like them, but I love to throw them. I don't necessarily like them to be for me. I love to throw them. I don't want one for myself though, but I do want to throw you one. What about you? Do you like them or no?
No, I'm right there with you. Because getting into party mode, like you said, is something you have to prepare for all day, all night. So if I'm preparing myself for like a solo date with Pete and then all of a sudden he surprises me with 10, 15 friends, that would kind of throw me through a loop. I think it would take me a second to like get out of like a weird funk, but I I love throwing surprise parties or any party because it's a lot of pressure too when it's your surprise party because then you have to turn on host mode and you're like, wait, I was just planning on having like a romantic dinner where I could just like be in my own thoughts and now I have to like be on for the next 5 hours and that's really stressful.
Yeah, and I think it causes a lot of like problems, like with the person that threw you the party, right? Because then you're like, I wouldn't have worn this, or like, I really was just in like the headspace to go to a movie. So it's very thoughtful and nice, but it's funny. I've thrown plenty of surprise parties. I've never one time thought about how they actually could impact the surprisee. Like they might not be wanting that right then.
Yeah, like so I'm going to Minnesota this weekend for Madeline's birthday and we're doing like some of her wedding stuff and she thought that her boyfriend was putting on a surprise party because myself and then randomly her other best friend from Chicago also was like, what are you doing this week and I might be coming into town, and she was like, oh my god, are you guys planning a surprise party for me? Because I swear to god if you are, I'm never coming home. I like don't want you to come. Like was freaking out and it was so funny. Yeah. But I like it made me realize like some people like that's their worst nightmare,
like actually don't want one and then they're not just saying that.
Yeah, so yes, that's actually gonna be my weekend too, going from 10 degrees to negative 12 degree weather too. Wow.
Oh, it's only about to get colder. It looks freezing there.
Also, I forgot not to just jump around. But I need to show you my monster because.
Oh my gosh! Yes, do show us your beautiful green monster.
I realized I'm just gonna match the monsters to my nails every week. So next time. Well, I don't know if I'll have my nails done next time. The Russian manicures, man, they last a long time on me. They know, like, they're so incredible. But I have a green monster because it's the Ultra Paradise, and I want to be in paradise right now because I'm so cold. So it's gonna put me there.
Do a little pop the top. Oh, love it.
It actually matches perfectly.
Yum.
And it's so good.
Yeah, the paradise, yum. I'm so jealous. Now you're going to be fueled for the rest of your day. You guys go to your local, I see them everywhere. Like I see Monster Energy everywhere. So just go wherever and you'll find the monsters. I always see the white cans. I always think of you.
They're my favorite.
We love our monster.
I know. I haven't had a white can in a while. Maybe I'll, no, I'm going to match it to my nails. So also I need to like work on trying the other flavors because the other flavors are so good. I need to stop being a creature of habit. So we're going to try new flavors every episode.
Okay, I love that. I fully support that.
What about you? What's your thorn since I already dove into mine? Also, wait, is Harrison still here? Will he be gone by the time this episode comes out?
He'll be gone by the time the episode comes out. But I was just kind of laughing because I always think I won't post that he's not here, but then like he posts on his story that like he's in New York, and so my friends are like DMing me and they're like, "Home Alone," and I'm like, "Yep."
You're like,
obviously.
How'd you know that?
Home Alone with the child. But no, he'll be back by the time this comes out. My thorn is, well, I have a thorn and then a fact for you.
Ooh.
So everyone's sick, and I feel like I know like one family that has I know two families that have the flu, and I know one that has, is it called the norovirus? Okay, obviously, like, do we say Priscilla has the norovirus? Yeah, okay, Priscilla. That works for us. Obviously, she has the norovirus.
That's our producer and editor.
I was going through this phase of like, oh, like I feel like everyone's sick, right? So then I was thinking about germs. So my thorn is that everyone is sick, and it's just like 'tis the season, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think this norovirus like really sucks. Like I think it's like taking people down. I've seen people online that have it that are just like leveled. But then I wanted to ask you, do you know which stall in the bathroom has the least amount of germs?
Probably the one closest to the door because I feel like everyone avoids that.
Exactly. It's the first one. Like when you go into the airport bathroom, like if it goes left to right, like the very first one is the least used and the least amount of germs. Because the psychology of like picking a stall, you just like pick the middle ones for some reason. Ever since I read this, which I read it like 2 years ago, it like lives rent free in my head, and like I will go to that first one on the left because it's just like untouched. Like we're not like programmed to go in there and go to that one. It's like hard to do. You should try it. I go into these bathrooms all the time and I'm like, no, go to the first one. And it's never occupied, and it like you have to force yourself.
I also think too, and this isn't the case in all bathrooms, but most bathrooms, you know how like the first stall has like that weird gap where you can kind of see through the door. It's like this big.
Yeah.
That's why I avoid that, because it's like I don't want people to watch me go into the bathroom. So I always pick like the farthest one away because there's better gaps, or there's fewer gaps.
I know that's actually a really good point, but I think you gotta just try for me one time. Go into that first stall, because it's like massages your brain level of like making yourself go to it.
Okay.
Because like we inherently want to skip it.
I mean, I'm going to the airport this weekend, and it's going to be the grossest place ever, so I'll use the first stall. But I will say LaGuardia, their bathroom, or maybe I'm flying out of Newark. Either way, both of them have good bathrooms, so I'll make sure to go to that first stall.
Yeah, report back how it felt.
I will. I know I always forget that, like, just because you're in Austin, I always just assume you can't get sick because it doesn't get too cold there. So when I hear that you guys are getting the norovirus and people are getting sick, I'm like, how? It's warm. You don't get sick when it's warm.
This norovirus is gnarly.
Ugh, I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't gotten sick since I had the flu 2 years ago. Remember when you and I were doing our like new intro where we were walking on the street and it was with Alana? It was me, you, and Alana. I had like my pink blazer on, and how sick I was.
Yes.
And you and Alana were like, why the heck are you here? You could have COVID. And I didn't have COVID because I did test that. But that was the last time I was like bedridden. I remember I went to bed that night and I like physically couldn't get up. And I haven't, so gratefully, have not been so sick since, other than like the casual flu the casual like cold or like a cough.
Do you want to know a funny fact?
Sure. I love facts.
You know, well, it's not a fact. It's not like a real fact. It's like a you and I fact. You know how I'm always sick? Like I always have like food poisoning or something.
Yeah.
Since I met Harrison, I have not been sick one time. So he like has never seen me sick.
Wait,
Okay. I know like pregnancy I was sick, but I haven't had like sickness.
really?
Yeah, I haven't had like food poisoning or anything like that. So like you see me throw up a lot because I was throwing up a lot during that point, but I haven't like gotten anything.
Maybe your body is in like a less stress mode with him. Like maybe you guys are just so compatible and so in love, and your body's always happy that you just can't, that you just can't get sick.
But I'm not sick. I'm just worried. I'm like this. I'm looking over left and right. I'm like, am I gonna get leveled one day with something? I hope not.
Not that this
So nervous.
has anything to do with you, but I do know people like when they are in, and I'm not saying this was you and your ex or anything. I'm just like thinking about this out loud. I've had friends who are like in bad relationships and always sick. Just like they're like, I was sick with this, sick with that, this or that, and then they end the relationship and they're like, oh my God, like I stopped getting a cold all the time. I stopped feeling anxious all the time. And it's like maybe your body was just like in like fight or flight mode constantly, so your immune system was down and you were always getting sick. Not saying that was you. I just find that interesting.
Right. But nonetheless, that is like super fascinating.
I know
that could be a thing. Like you never know, I guess.
Well, they always say
that's
like
crazy.
When people have sex and if they get like UTIs or yeast infections a lot, like they're not compatible that way. But like I also think too, like if you're constantly sick with your partner, like your body tells you in different ways if you're not compatible with somebody.
Oh my gosh, it like rejects it.
It does.
It's like rejecting it, and it like comes out in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's just interesting.
What's your rose?
So I kind of have two. So the first one, it's mainly just, it's like not really a rose. It's more of I just want to talk about it because I think you would love it. So the other day, as in last week, I got, it's called a Moxie and a BBL facial. But what I laughed about was like I found something I liked about New York because I left with like the craziest red face ever. And New York is just one of those places where you could walk around with anything on your face and no one's gonna blink twice. They're just gonna be like, whatever, she probably got work done, whatever, probably got in a fight. Like, they just don't care. And I was like, oh, that's the one thing I love about New York. It's like, you truly, like, everyone minds their business.
You can truly wear pajamas like to a nice dinner in New York. You could like throw on heels with a pair of pajamas and people would be like, how chic of her.
Right?
How fashion forward. Like, everything there is a statement. Yeah.
But I got both of those facials, and I think that you would really love the Moxie facial, because I know that I saw that you posted that you like getting hydrofacials, but you only do it so often. And the BBL I don't think you would really need, because it's mainly for people with redness. But the Moxie facial, and maybe you've gotten this done, but it's like a laser peel where your face is like out of commission for a few days. Like, you can't wear makeup. It's like all scabbly and stuff. But it's supposed to just make your skin look like porcelain afterwards, like you have a filter on it after you go through 3 sessions. And I'm like, oh, I feel like Alex would love that.
Are they medical grade? I haven't even heard of the Moxie one. Is that like specific to where you were going? Like,
I don't think it's okay, so it's funny. Everyone was like, I posted and I was like, I got a BBL and a Moxie facial, and everyone was like, oh my God, I love the BBL facial. I've gotten that. And I was surprised because I thought the Moxie would be more popular, because the BBL is like for redness and stuff. And I know someone got it for getting rid of like, not like their freckles, but they had like a lot of like brown spots from the sun, so they used it to get rid of that. Mm-hmm. But I think I go to Athos in New York City, and they didn't say it was like a newer technology. So I don't know if it's maybe called something different, but it's like approved by them, and it's like a very popular facial, and like all the people who work there have gotten it done, and it looks incredible on their skin.
Yeah, I like don't know how I haven't heard. You know how like facials,
yeah,
if there's like one there, then they're everywhere, right? Like a hydrofacial is in every city.
Yeah,
I've never heard of the Moxie. Like, but what is it called when you get the butt implants? Is that not called a BBL?
Yeah, so that's why I always laugh when I'm like, I'm getting a BBL today, because people are like, what? And I'm like, a BBL facial, because it's a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift too.
Yes, that's the term. And then what does it stand for in terms of facial?
That's a great question. I never asked. They just kept saying BBL, and I was like, that's so funny. It sounds like I'm getting a Brazilian butt lift. And then they would like laugh, and then we would change subjects. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm always open to trying new facials. The thing about the hydrofacial is I started just getting them like 4 years ago. Like, my T-zone was always so oily, and it was like the one thing that always regulated me out. But every time I branch off and I get another facial, like, I always end up loving them. I think I would really like this Moxie situation.
Yeah, you should.
Did your skin like flake?
Yes. That's why, like, for 5 days, you just like, I got done on Thursday, and I told Pete, I was like, I don't want to be around people on Friday or Saturday. I finally like did something on Sunday, but Friday and Saturday my skin just looked red and peely. Like, it looked like a bad sunburn, and I couldn't wear makeup. So I was just like make sure you can be home and you're not going to be on camera or going to like any events.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. No, I'm going to look up and see if they have those. Yeah, the Moxie facial.
But a BBL is it doesn't affect your skin at all. Like, you could leave and go to a party like that night.
And that one is for what did you say? Oh, redness.
So I did it for redness, but someone told me that they did it to get rid of like brown spots. So I'm assuming maybe it just kind of gets rid of any discoloration on your skin.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, good BBL. I wonder what it stands for. I'll look it up.
Yeah. And then the other rose I wanted to tell you about, because I feel like you'll laugh. I joined a kickball team in New York.
Wow. These adult leagues, like the adult sports league, in any capacity, they crack me up. I love them. They're a great way to make friends. They're a great way to socialize without going out and drinking, although a lot of people drink at the leagues. I get the biggest kick out of them. Like, I just love them.
Oh no, get this. It's kickball and tippy cup or flippy cup league. So you play a 30-minute game, and then you go to a bar and you play flippy cup for 30 minutes.
We call it flip cup, but I guess you guys call it flippy
flip cup. That's like how old I'm getting. I meant flip cup. Wow, I just really aged myself.
So wait, how often are the games? I imagine they're every Thursday.
They're every Wednesday, which I love.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight's my first game. But I am forcing myself to do it because I need to stop being such a sour puss in New York. Like, I'm just making myself miserable. And one of my friends, she set it up because she was like, I want to meet new people and this or that. And she texted me and she's like, I doubt you'd want to join, but I want to throw it out there just in case. And I was like, no, I cannot turn into that friend that people are like, I doubt you would join friend, because I keep saying no to everything because I'm a hermit. So I like am forcing myself to do this.
Okay. I love that reroute that you've done of like I love that she said, I doubt you would join, and you were like, no, I have to join now.
I was like, I used to be the yes friend, and now I'm turning into the no friend solely because I don't like New York and it's cold, and I'm like, I can't allow 2025 to start off on this negative note. So I shifted my mindset and I was like, I will join and I will have a great time.
I'm like very excited about this. And is Pete on it with you, or is it just you?
It's just me because it was just a girl. Our team's all girls.
Oh my gosh, is he going to come to the game?
I doubt he'll come tonight because the game is at 8:30, which is past my bedtime. But I'm gonna push through. I know, that's why I'm like, I'm glad I have this monster. I'm gonna be up until like 10:30 tonight.
Wait. The game is at 8:30, and then you go to the bar and play Flip Cup?
Yeah, so the kickball will probably be 8:30 to 9, and then you play Flippy Cup from like 9 to 9:30. But not every week is at that time. It shifts. So like some games could be at 5:30, some will be at, I think the latest will be 8:30, but we start late and then I think we bump up. So
what's the name of your team?
That's a
oh my gosh, we gotta have your team. We gotta have your team name.
What is the name of my team? Oh, Balls of Fury.
Oh, that's funny.
Or that's the group chat. So I assume that's the name of the league or the name of the team.
Yeah. Wait, I think this is really fun that you're doing this.
I know. It's just like 2-3 years ago, I would have said yes, wouldn't have been phased, and now I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I'm like, I need to stop acting like I'm getting so old and grumpy. Like, I can't allow myself to get into this swing of things. Like, it's not a good habit for me to start getting into.
No, I really love that you're doing the kickball thing. I think that's going to be a blast. Good job. Really good job saying yes.
Yeah, and if you're in a city and you want to make new friends, I feel like this is the best way. I'll let you guys know, like, how it is and if there's other teams there. Like, I don't even know if Pete could come and watch. Like, I'll have to give you guys more information next week after I have my first game. But I feel like this is a really good way to meet more people if you want more friends, or maybe like a good way to meet boys or girls, like to date. I don't know.
I totally agree. Like to date. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Probably, I'm sure you'll see guys teams or co-ed teams.
Yeah,
you will.
I think. Yeah, it's a co-ed league. Our team, I think, is, well, actually, now that I think of it, I don't know if I think we're all girls. I don't even know. I didn't ask a lot of questions. When I don't plan something, I'm just like, I'll show up. It's fine.
Good for you for showing up. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. What's your rose?
My rose is I am watching a classic TV show. But it's Friday Night Lights, which I know people have always loved. And the thing about Friday Night Lights is I've never seen it. I'm loving it, but it's a large part of like why Harrison wanted to live in America. And I think we like take that for granted. Like as a Canadian boy, like growing up and seeing our football culture and like watching Friday Night Lights, that was something that he was like so drawn to and like thought was so amazing. And now that we live in Texas, I was like, let me watch this and, acclimate my mindset. And I'm just loving it, and it's so happy and fun for me. And I know everyone listening is probably like, I've seen Friday Night Lights, but to be able to watch it for the first time has been incredible.
What town in Texas are they in?
Some small town.
Okay. But it's like their whole
life. Some West Texas small town.
But it's like their whole life is football. I wonder if Austin high schools are like that, or if, like, is it
The Dillon Panthers, Dillon, Texas. Yeah.
Like I wonder. I always wondered if Texas. Like I know smaller towns in Texas, like they like eat, sleep football. But I always wondered if like all of the cities were like that. Because when I was growing up and watched it, I just pictured everything in Texas being football.
Well, I know, for example, UT that's here, they're major into football. I think it's like a Midwest South thing, but like Westlake High that's here, they're really into football, like really, really into it. So I think it's not every town, but I do think it's a lot of towns.
Maybe when Tate grows up, she'll date the quarterback and go to all the games and wear his jersey.
Maybe she'll be, I don't know. Maybe she will.
You're like,
I think she'll be a cheerleader. Who knows?
I feel like I can't think of that right now.
But I actually do kind of think about it when I'm watching it, because I'm like, I think about the like the classic high school experience when I'm watching it, and I think about how cool it is that can like exist here. You know, I think that's like a really special childhood.
How far are you in it?
Season, I don't know. I mean, I just click next. I probably watched 9 or 10 episodes. I don't know if that's still season 1.
Okay, who's your favorite character?
Well, everyone loves Tim Riggins, but like he's not my favorite yet. So like I think he must have some comeback arc happening. I like Lila. I like Smash. I love the coach. The coach is probably my favorite.
Yeah. And
I love a lot of the, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know why I can't think of his name, but I always liked Julie, the coach's daughter, Landry, and Julie, like the guy that Julie starts.
Matt Saracen?
Yes, Matt Saracen. I always liked like that crowd, like because like everyone loved Tim and Lila and stuff, but I was like, I kind of love like the underdogs.
Yeah, no, it's a really good cast. I love the character developments. Like it's good.
I always forget who.
Oh, I love the coach's wife.
Oh, same. Is Jason the main football player who gets hurt in the beginning? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Jay.
Yeah. That's a great show. Speaking of shows, because I think it's one of the there is a word for this. I think I forget what it is, but you and I were just talking about how Cameron Diaz and like Ben Stiller and all those people haven't been on TV in so long. Then all of a sudden, Ben Stiller's in a new movie. Cameron Diaz just came back for the first time in 15 years. Like, what's up with that? We were just saying, where is she gone?
It's like the weird. I thought that didn't she make like some declarative statement when she left that she like was never going to come back?
Yeah, so she was in an interview and she was like, I never planned on coming back. She was like, I was so happy with leaving that I would only come back if it was with the right person. And she like loves Jamie Foxx, so she was like, when the offer came to her, she was like, I'll do it for Jamie.
That makes me happy, actually.
Do you want to know a conspiracy theory, though, that I saw?
That she was talking about?
Well, it's about her.
Oh, I saw her talking about a conspiracy. Okay, what is it about her?
So, this is alleged, but I saw this thing on TikTok about why she really came back, and it was because, she dated P. Diddy, like, 13 years ago, right before she left the industry. And now that he's in prison, she just happens to come back, and people think it has to do with like him being put away, because after they broke up, that's like when she left the industry. And now that he's gone, she just happens to come back. So people think that there might be something to do with him being put in jail where she feels comfortable coming back, or maybe she saw like the true ways of the industry and it like totally ruined her, but now that he's behind bars, she feels a little bit more comfortable being back. I don't know, but I was like, that's pretty crazy coincidence.
Oh, wow. Maybe he like said I'll blackball you or something, and now that he's gone, all those people get to come back and like work. Maybe it's something to do with that. I didn't know they dated.
I didn't either. I saw a TikTok because it was like craziest people that dated in Hollywood, and it was Cameron Diaz and P. Diddy were one of the couples.
Wow, she's married to Joel Madden?
Yeah, I think they're still married, but I know that was like her most recent. Like when I think of who she is with, I think of him. So I don't know if they're still married.
Okay, that is a crazy conspiracy theory, and like I don't know, it could be true.
But isn't it weird? Like she came back, Ben Stiller's back, and he's also, since he like created Severance, he's all over the press. Like I hadn't seen his face in years. Now I'm seeing him on like talk shows. Now Kate Hudson's coming out with I don't know if it's a TV series or a movie coming out on Netflix in February. I'm like, our OGs that we just told the world that we missed are full blown coming back. It like, I don't know. This is like so weird to me.
Whatever Kate Hudson is in, I will watch whatever it is.
I'll tell you the name of it. I wrote it down because I was like, oh my gosh, this looks great. It's called Running Point. It comes out February 27th, but I don't know if it's a TV series or if it's a movie. But it's like a very great cast. She's in it. That one guy that was married to Jennifer Aniston is in it. I can't think of his name.
Brad Pitt. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. That one guy, Brad Pitt. And then a few other people. But I'm just like, what? Our OGs are back.
I am so excited that they're back. Wow, this is exciting. I do want to see the Cameron Diaz. I don't know, what is it, a show? I saw one video on it. Is it a show or is it a movie?
It's called Back in Action. It's a movie. I watched it over the weekend, and it's cute. It's like a cute movie. I wouldn't say it was like 5 stars, but it wasn't bad. It was like funny. It was like a good old comedy, like action comedy.
Okay, but what do you rate movies that Cameron Diaz is in? Like What Happens in Vegas or When in Vegas with Ashton Kutcher? Like that to me was a phenomenal movie. Like, are you watching that today and giving that a 10?
I mean, that is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, same. I love that movie. So this movie's not that. Like, what happened to the classics we used to have?
Yeah. I mean, this one was good. It's just like a funny, like goofy action movie. It's about like 2 people who are spies and then have kids, and they get thrown back into the world of being a spy, but their kids are being dragged with them. So it's like a family action funny movie type of thing. Would I watch it again? Sure. Would I recommend it? Sure. But like, I'm not going to like rave about it as my favorite movie of 2025.
The best movie I've seen in a while is that Moon movie, the Channing Tatum one. I mean, that to me was like the old movies. It was good.
I know that is on my list of movies to watch. Maybe I'll watch it on the plane to Minnesota if I have TVs.
It's a really good movie. I would recommend it. I really recommend it.
But yeah, don't worry, that's not my rec. I've been watching more TV than usual lately because it's been so cold. So I have more recs to give you later.
Okay, good. I have a TV show rec too that I'm like, I wonder if we have the same one. Okay, should we get into our topic?
Yes, let's do it. So we got a DM a few weeks ago, and I love, like, when people DM us, like, great topics, I'm just like, you guys are the best. Now we have something we can talk about. Like, you guys have the best ideas, so please keep DMing us what you want us to talk about, because we don't even think about what we've already had conversations on and stuff. But someone DM'd us, and they said, could you please share what you did for your self-love journey to practice love towards yourself so that you can love others and eventually a partner? Maybe share like top 5 things that helped you, or your top 5 things that your therapist told you to do. And Alex and I were talking, so we're each going to share like 3 things that we have done on our self-love journey to get where we are today.
Yes, and I will say I read yours and co-sign a lot of them. Like, my original list was very close to your list.
Oh, I love that.
So I changed my 3, but I will say, like, I think that these are really solid.
Yeah, when I think about my self-love journey, I feel like my self-love journey really happened when I moved to New York, because I mean, when you move to New York, you just get thrown into it. Like, it is like the craziest lifestyle, and it's so go, go, go that you forget to take care of yourself. So I feel like over the past 3 years, I really transformed into a healthier version of myself. I mean, thanks to like my amazing therapist and like great support system, finding Pete, but also too just like being in this industry, I really learned I had to take care of my mental health more than I did before I joined the social media world. So I feel like all of this really happened for me in the past like 2 to 3 years. So it's like very fresh in my brain of like specific things that I actually did.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think one note about you and I in general is we're like we like to challenge ourselves. We like always have a growth mindset aspect to us, which is why I think our list is good, because we're not complacent. So I think sometimes when you're complacent, maybe self-love isn't that hard to keep up with. But when you and I are constantly like challenging ourselves, growing, changing, moving, XYZ, having self-love and like taking care of your mental health, I think is more important.
Yeah, and I feel like you and I really put in the work over the past couple years. Like, we've been put through the ringer in like different occasions and in different ways, but we've both really put in the work to get through it and like be a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, I would have really agree with that.
Should we just go like
kind of earned these
back and forth?
Yeah, I think you start, and I think that's a good idea. We'll go one for one.
Okay. So when someone asks me how I became like a better version of myself or how I learned to love myself more, I always think of this one thing in particular that I did with my therapist, and I forgot what the exercise is. And like, unfortunately, well, actually, no, you could do this by yourself, but if you do have a therapist, you could bring this up to her, and I'm sure she'd be like, oh my God, yeah, because it's not like my therapist pulled this out of her butt. It's like an actual like type of therapy that you do. But something I struggled with when I first moved to New York and getting in this industry and just like dating crappy people was understanding my worth and finding my worth. And my therapist and I did this exercise where she understood that I didn't know my worth, but she wanted to see like the underlying issue of like why I didn't, because she's like, there has to be a reason why you don't know your worth, and it's different for every single person. So we did this exercise where she made me think of all these people that I admire, and then on one side I would put, like, I'll use Kim Kardashian for example. Like, I was like, I admire Kim for the business she has. So I would put like Kim on this side, and then someone who is the complete opposite on this side. And then she would have me rate where I think I'm successful when it comes to like having your dream business. And when I laid out all of these things that I valued and wanted in my life, I realized that I actually wasn't as far off as I thought, because I wasn't so far left. I was actually more right where I wanted to be in life. So I started to be like less hard on myself and understand that like these different things about myself. And then through that practice, we also did this exercise where, and I know this is like a lot of information and I apologize, but it's like the easiest way for me to kind of describe like how we got there is, at the top of like a poster board, she was like, you are not worthy. And then she was like, why do you think that? And then I would give her a reason why. And then she'd be like, why do you think that? And then I would give her another reason why. And she'd be like, why do you think that? And I would give her another reason why, until I literally couldn't think of any other reasons. And it finally got down to like at the end of the day, I didn't think I was worthy. It was because I didn't think I was good enough. So then she was like, okay, now that you don't think that you're good enough, we can work on different types of exercises to like make you feel like you're good enough. So from there, we did like, oh my gosh, we did so many different things. But like, she told me to do that mirror thing that I've talked about, where you stand in front of the mirror naked for 2 minutes and say all the great things about yourself, like what you love about yourself, how beautiful you are, how smart you are. She had me start journaling. She had me write a list of like all my values. She taught me about like mind shift and so much more. Like, I could go on for days, but that was like one of the biggest things that I worked on in therapy for a very long time, was like really understanding why I didn't know my worth and like why I didn't think I was worthy, which I know is like a lot of information, so I apologize, but it was like a year's worth of
I
stuff.
think it's cool. I think, yeah, I mean, I think what people can do then is like, I would even love to do it, is to journal. And you could even put like, okay, who do you admire? And then so when you put Kim K on one side, what are you saying is on the other side? Like someone, like the complete opposite of that?
Yeah, so it could be like, I don't want to be like rude, but it could be someone like homeless, for example, someone who like doesn't have a career, and then Kim Kardashian on the other side. Like you need to pick like absolute extremes and like where you fall in between. Or like, let's say you want to be an actress and the person you admire is Jennifer Aniston, and then you put a normal person who has no theater skills at all in that line. Like where do you think you are from being like, compared to being like the worst person in that field to being almost like Jennifer Aniston?
Oh, and then okay, I see. And you would find that you're a lot closer to your person than you thought. Like we're being hard on ourselves.
Yes, yes, exactly. And like I think too, you could journal, and you could start with like the topic. If you are trying to love yourself more or find your worth, you could start with, I don't think I'm worthy, and then start drawing down like why I don't think that, and then like kind of journal about that, and then go from there, and then journal about why you think that. So you get to like, eventually your mind will get to like a bottom line reason of why you think this specific thing about yourself. Like you only can go so far in your mind of feeling like unworthy.
Okay, and I would, and so then what you're saying most of the time is it's probably like the stories you tell yourself about yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not worthy, but it's only that you think that.
Yeah, and like you can't just like you can be unworthy, but like there has to be a reason you think that. So mine was that I didn't think I was good enough. And then we were able to work on that to make me go back to finding my worth, because everyone has a different reason of why they don't feel worthy if you are trying to work on like your worthiness or your self-love.
Okay, incredible.
Yeah, so like a lot of journaling, a lot of changing your mindset and being in tune with your emotions. Like it took a long time. Like this was, I would say, probably a year process, maybe longer. And it like totally changed how I viewed myself and the people I started dating. I mean, you even saw like the guys I initially started dating to like the farther along I was in my journey of self-love, the better guys I would start dating. Like there is a true shift. If you lifted every single guy I dated, you could like track where I was in therapy being like the worst guy to finding Pete. And I attribute it to this.
No question.
This exercise I did.
I love it. I think that's a really good one.
Thank you. What's yours?
Okay, my first tip, I guess, about self-love is offering yourself grace. Now, furthermore, what I mean by that is like realigning what success is. So I use workout as an example. I have a couple examples, but like, okay, so working out. I think I used to work out not for energy. I used to work out to like look toned, right? It was a very like vain type of working out. But then I shifted. I remember when I started boxing, I shifted why I worked out, and it's coming back true to me today. I work out for energy now. Like I now work out because when I get my heart rate going, I have more energy throughout the day, and I find myself to be a better mom. Like I find when I need to pick up Tate or like run down the stairs with her, run back up them, it's not as lethargic of a process for me, and I have more energy that I need throughout the day. But I have to offer myself grace in not being able to do it all, but now just doing what matters. So like so workout wouldn't fit in this bucket if I was doing it because I wanted to like look a certain way. But now working out fits in this bucket because I work out so I can have energy. I work out so I can feel better. I work out so my mind can be more clear. And so, but what I've stopped doing, I used to be obsessed with my kitchen being clean before I went to bed. And I don't even know why that was. It was just kind of like an OCD thing, I think. And one thing that I've had to learn is like, in terms of offering grace and not doing it all, but doing what matters, is it's like, it doesn't really matter if the dishes sit in there that night, or if I do them in the morning, or like when I do them. And so really like stepping out of my routine and just saying like, it doesn't have to be the way it always was, right? Like you're allowed to step back and pivot and realign what matters to you. So the overarching thing I call it is like grace, right? Below, like offering yourself grace. Don't be so mean to yourself. Realign what matters to you. And then think about what really fits into that category. So like workout for me did make it in that category because it's my energy source.
I love that. I think learning to give yourself grace, it sounds easy, but it's challenging, but when you master it, it will change your life. Do you have anything specific that you did to help you be able to give yourself grace easier or more easily?
I think it was the part where like I had to ask myself why I was doing it. So, for example, like they're two, like, I try to think of like two polar opposite examples of like working out and like needing to have the kitchen clean. Well, what in that area fit for me? And ironically enough, it's working out, but it's only working out in a way that gives me energy. So if I'm working out to like look a certain way, that doesn't fit into this. But if I'm cleaning the kitchen just because like it didn't make me mentally feel better. It didn't do anything for me. It was just this task that I spent like 15 extra minutes at the end of every meal just like doing to like precision. And instead it was like, that's just this like random thing that I think I have to do. So I think the thing you do is you take the task and then you ask yourself, why do you do it? And then you ask yourself, does this fit into my life? And I think loving yourself is allowing yourself to let go of certain things that you think you always had to do, but they might not fit into your life anymore. So I really wrote down like doing it all and doing what matters. And then you find what matters. Like ask yourself, why does this matter? Does it matter?
I love that. Asking yourself more intentional questions throughout the day is so much more important than we realize. I also really love how you were like I thought about what I felt like I should do and started doing what I wanted to do. Like that, I mean, I feel like your schedule really clears up. Also, your schedule becomes more enjoyable.
Yeah, way, way more enjoyable. And you think about the root cause of things, right? Like I love sitting and journaling because I get something from it. So that's a good use of my time. That's not me doing it all. That would be me doing what matters. And that's like something that's good for me.
I love that. The next one I have, and don't worry, these next two are like way more simple. But I started to find healthy hobbies that fulfill me and finding more fulfillment in myself and respecting myself more. Like when I first moved to New York, a lot of the things I do involve drinking, like going out, drinking, which then resulted in like lack of sleep and then just not taking care of myself. Like I wouldn't go to the gym as much. I wouldn't eat healthy. And in the beginning, that was fine. Like I was meeting new people, this or that. But after doing that for a year, it really started to take a toll on my mental health. And I realized that once I started doing more things that were fulfilling and better for myself, like for example, instead of going out every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I would go on walks with my friends or like go out to brunch and just actually eat breakfast and not drink. Or now I love to spend my time in color or read versus scrolling on my phone. And like once I found things that were more fulfilling, I also stopped doing things that cause like a negative effect on me. Like when I first moved here too, I would also just like do all these things just to fill the void of feeling lonely. And a lot of that was like going out and partying. But now I have these fulfilling, healthy hobbies that I actually enjoy doing and I don't mind doing alone, which prevents me from like destroying my body and my mental health by doing things that are just like not healthy for me. And then like your sleep gets better and you eat healthier and you feel better, and like that is just so important. So I feel like just finding more fulfillment in, like, I know it sounds so simple, but like in healthy hobbies.
So sometimes I think doing that, like if you were 22 doing that, like you wouldn't get it out of your system, right?
Yeah.
Like it's important that we like lived our wild times and now we like crave this sense of just not wild times, right? More wholesome. And so I think if you're in that period too of like, and tell me if you agree with this, but like you're still going out and stuff, implement adding in one thing. Adding in a walk, adding in a workout class with friends, adding in like a night where you're just like, I'm not going to go out and say I'm going to stay home and like hydrate, cook dinner at home, make a fun recipe. So instead of like the removing mindset, you add in.
Yeah, like balance is so important, and that's what I started to do. Like when I first lived here, it was like, I was drinking every single day, and then I started telling my friends like, hey, let's go out Friday, and then Saturday let's do a workout class so we hold ourselves accountable so we don't get trashed. And then we meet up at like 11, do a workout class, get breakfast, and then the rest of the evening I'm just gonna have some me time. And once I started to find that balance, it was just, my overall health was just so much better.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. I think in terms of self-love, that's a really, really good one.
Yeah, and being able to just sit and be alone and enjoying being alone is so important on your self-love journey. Like if you can't be alone, you shouldn't be with a partner.
Yeah, if you can't love yourself, you can't love them. I really think that's true.
1,000%. What's your next one?
Okay, so my next one is confidence. So it's my outward dialogue matching my inward dialogue. And this one's like very simple. Then you ask yourself, okay, how do you practice that? The best way for me to practice that is to show up that way with other people. For instance, so you go, like I went to coffee this morning with the girl, and it's like when she asked me questions, not making myself like play small, not, making like adjusting my answers so like she feels more comfortable, XYZ. It's just like my internal dialogue matches my external dialogue, and that I think lines up with confidence. So like who you think you are in your head, who you want to be is like who you are out loud, and I think that's the best way to love yourself.
You've always been so great at confidence. Since the moment I met you, you've truly always been the most confident person I know, and I feel like you are so good about never allowing yourself to be or feel small, but you do it in such an elegant way where I've never felt like you're like I'm trying to think like in a work setting, like you never are doing it in a sense where you're being like condescending or bragging. You always just do it in such like a humble, kind way, and I've always admired that about you. But it's so true, because like when you do that, like the more you act like that, the more you really start to believe it on the inside too.
I think, and it's funny because like it's something I like always can struggle with, right? And so especially for some reason, like with pregnancy and things, like I really didn't feel like myself, and so I had to say like go hang out with people and show up as like in your head who you are, say it out loud, right? And like when people say like, how is it having a baby? It's so easy to be like, well, it's hard. No, it's awesome. And it's like, that's not a popular response, but like, I love having a baby and I love life with her. And I think it's a lot of times you can get caught in this like, well, she's not sleeping. Well, X, well, Y. Or you can be like, no, it's fucking phenomenal. And I think I found that to be something that I like struggled with, but I think when you say it out loud, you do like it's exactly what you just said. You start to believe it. And then like, how when you leave a conversation and you're like, why did I just not say my truth? Like,
yeah.
Like, why was I just responding to her in like a way that made her feel better instead of just being like, my experience is different and here's mine. Like being honest.
The amount of times that I do that, still to this day, I'll leave and be like, why did I make myself feel small to make this other person feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not like loving ourselves. Like, I always admire people when I run into them or I meet them for the first time who exude that like confidence and they're like proud of themselves. And I think that is like a really good form of self-love.
Yeah, with Pete, like we joke around because I obviously can do this with him because I'm comfortable, but he'll like, if he gives me a compliment and if he's like, you look so pretty today, I'll be like, thank you. I know I'm pretty. I'm always pretty, just as like a joke. And then he's like, yes, you are. And I'm like, doing that, which used to be a joke and now I do it so often, has helped my confidence even because like when you say something enough, like your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and what's not reality. So like if you if you tell yourself you're pretty every single day for like constantly, you will literally start to feel more beautiful, and the people around you will also see you as more beautiful person.
Do you know how good of an example that is? Even hearing you say it when Pete says you look pretty and you respond back like, I know I'm always pretty. Do you know how much like I want to, if I imagine someone telling me that, I want to be like, oh, thank you.
Right? Or like you look pretty.
Yeah, like, you know, you and you too. Instead of being like, fuck yeah, like, thank you, I look really pretty. Like, wow, that's like even hard to joke about. But I'm sure the more you do it and flex that muscle, like the more you believe it.
Oh yeah, and he's the only person at this point besides like my family that I can do that. But I hope one day when my friends or like someone gives me a compliment, I can say thank you instead of being like, oh yeah, I got a new makeup routine, or oh no I'm not, or no but you are. Like, just believe the compliment and move on.
Right. Oh, that's a really great point. Yes, I think that we should maybe practice that.
You look so pretty.
Thank you. I think so too.
Yeah. I can tell how uncomfortable you felt.
I can't even do it with a straight face. Oh my gosh. That's okay. You look so pretty today.
Thank you. I feel beautiful. That's a little bit easier to do.
That was really good. Yeah.
Didn't we have an episode?
Wow. We
back in the day where we.
Yes.
What was that? Like you were supposed to scream like we're so hot or something.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed because what was the way we like articulated it, but the deflection of compliments. Like this was our main topic was, oh yeah, you would like deflect it back to them because like you couldn't sit with it and take it.
Yeah, we'd be like, I am hot.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That was a great episode. It's such a real thing too. The ability to just be like, thanks.
Right? And obviously, that episode was almost 2 years ago. So like it shows like it's hard and we still struggle with it to this day.
Oh yeah, no question. It's very hard.
My last one is surrounding yourself with a great support system. I think the moment you allow yourself to remove toxic friends and toxic relationships out of your life and just keep the people that give you as much energy as you give them and vice versa, like your life will truly change. And we've said it a million times. 4 shiny quarters are better than 100 dull pennies. Mm-hmm. You are who you surround yourself with.
And what do you think about what's your advice to somebody that doesn't like that needs to like rework their friend group? That's like, okay, I don't really have the shiny quarters around me. Like, what do you suggest they do? Like, do you think like podcasts and books count?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I think because you're surrounding yourself with, your books and your podcasts can be your friends. But you're putting more positivity in your ears than like sitting at a table and just hearing your friends talk shit. But also too, I think like join an intramural sports team. DM a girl on Instagram that you're like, oh my God, we both live in the same city. I love your Instagram. Go to a workout class. Join Bumble BFF. Like slowly start to find more people that you feel like you're more alike with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's really good. And I do think you're right at the beginning. Like if you can't easily access those people, just putting good things into your mind. So like really positive podcasts or books and things like that does start to retrain your brain chemistry. I agree.
Yeah. Before I had a therapist, Brene Brown was my fake therapist. Like she was my friend in my ear.
When you listen to the Ed Milet's, the Brene Browns, the
Jay Shetty,
Ed Brene, Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, like when you listen to those people, you're just like watering a plant in your head. Like it's so good for you.
Yeah, I remember when you told me to read Think Like a Monk, I would listen to that constantly instead of just like listening to trash. And it would just make my mornings better because I would start my morning listening to Jay Shetty talk about a way to better myself. And instead of listening to like reality TV or like trash podcasts, which no shade, because like sometimes ours can be too, but it just like really it like changed my day. I was like, wow, I'm starting my day on a positive note with my new friend.
No, it's incredible what it can do for you. And it's like a hard habit to start. But once you start, it's almost like addicting.
Yeah. And like right now, my books, all my characters in my books are my friends. Like that's who I hang out with every day.
Exactly. It's like the updated version of Imaginary Friends.
No, literally. I'm like.
Now we have our podcast and our book friends, which they're real. They're still real.
They are. What's your last one?
Okay, my last one is aligning your values and understanding that they can evolve. And so then I think a really good way to practice self-love is set your values. So I have my 3 that I'll use as an example. Family, ambition and purpose, and then adventure. So like Tate and Harrison, right? So I think about like family, that's motherhood. I think about ambition, which is work. And then furthermore, though, I think about purpose and like being fulfilled. And then adventure. And you and I have talked about like setting your values, but I think in terms of self-love, you have to learn with your values. This is the one tip to take away: tuning out societal pressure. So not other people's values, but your values. And so a good exercise you can do, which is one that I did earlier, was like write down, 10, 20 values you think you have, and then go back and write down why they matter to you. And then do they matter to you because someone in your life told you they should matter, or do they matter to you because like you care about them? And I think that's a really good thing to do in terms of loving yourself, is saying, what are my values? And then what am I doing to make those values a priority in my life?
I love that. I think too, if you are trying to find a better support system or a new partner, writing down your values that you want in a friend and a partner, and make sure that these people you're allowing in your life fit into those values. Because if your values don't align, especially with a romantic partner, and you have to compromise on your values, I think that's when things can get really messy.
I totally agree. And I think all the 6 that we talked about are really good for self-love, like right now, and self-love if you're in like a transition phase.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yeah. And also too, like they're all tools to help that like build off of each other to just overall get you through the journey too. Like, and you don't have to I know this like list is probably very intimidating, but like just pick one that seems the easiest, and once you feel like you mastered that, move on to the next. I love the values one though. I think that's a great starting point, because once you understand your values, that's like when you really can start to branch off and figure out like your route of self-love.
I was looking at schools the other day, like here in Austin, and I was looking at like private versus public versus what they teach, and I said to Harrison, like, I got to figure out what matters to me.
Like for Tate?
I've always been told these. Yeah, oh, okay. Right. Like, yeah, you're just looking at like the school paths and things like that. And then I said, I got to figure out what matters to me that I want to teach her, because I'm going to repeat this cycle of like, I was always taught certain things matter, but then I never went and sat down and thought, do they actually matter to me? Right. Because everything that mattered to my parents doesn't exactly have to matter to me. Right. I think the idea of evolving is like you take a good amount of those, and then you add in your own, and like those make them unique to you. But when I was looking at these schools, there's religion, there's all these different things that like apply. It's like the amount of time they go outside during the day. And I'm like, whoa, I got to figure it out. And so I was doing my values.
Wow, that's crazy. That I don't even want to say it, but I was like, that's going to be here before you know it. Like,
yeah.
The little munchkins.
Do you want
a 13-year-old?
I know. And it's like these books, these textbooks these days, I guess, they some like do teach certain things in history, some don't, some XYZ, which like never mattered to me because I wasn't going through elementary school, but now it matters to me.
I never even thought about that, like if certain topics are banned or just not spoken about.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I bet Texas has a ton of options too for schools. Or Austin.
Yeah, Austin's like a good city because it's like a bit different than the other Texas cities. I don't know. I gotta go. I gotta explore. I'm just at the beginning of it.
Wow. I feel like that was like a pretty good list. Is there anything you want to add before we jump to our listener question?
No, I think we nailed it.
Perfect. Also too, if you guys have any questions about these, feel free to DM us so we can like go more in depth on them and we can talk about them on different episodes too. But before we get into our listener question, which is actually, am I the asshole? I just want to preface, it is another wedding one, but I think the am I the asshole wedding ones are so interesting, and I feel like they like everyone can relate to it because everyone will go through it or has gone through it. So I'm sorry, but we're doing another wedding am I the asshole.
Hi, I have an am I the asshole question. P.S. I love the pod. Just wanted to hear your opinion on this. Okay, am I the asshole? We're in the early stages of wedding planning, and I'm torn about whether I should ask my fiance's sister to be a bridesmaid. She has repeatedly spoken poorly about me and my fiance to other family members behind our backs and generally acts in a snaky manner. Because of this, we don't have any kind of friendship. I wish we did, and I maintain my distance because I don't trust her. I feel that if I ask her to be in the wedding, she'll judge me, make snide comments throughout the process, and possibly try to make it all about herself. On the other hand, if I don't ask her, I'm worried she'll hold it against us forever. My fiance doesn't really have an opinion on the matter since he doesn't let the drama bother him, and they're not that close anyways. What do you think? This is my one wedding, and I just want it to be as stress-free as possible.
So I picked it because it's like similar to the last one, but I feel like different morals are being crossed. So I was like, oh, this is interesting.
It's a really good one.
My two initial thoughts is, one, it frustrates me that the fiance, it doesn't bother the fiance. Like, if I had a fiance who wasn't bothered by his sister being rude to me, that would be an issue. But I think and once we talk about it, my opinion could change. I think that it's okay that she's not a bridesmaid because, one, you said that it doesn't bother your fiance, they don't seem close, and two, if someone's rude to you and is like talking about you behind your back to other family members, I think they lost the right to be a part of your big day. But that's my thought. What do you think?
I'm with you. I'm thinking we're not asking her. And I think the backbone of not asking her is it doesn't bother the fiance. Because at first I was with you on like, what do you mean it doesn't bother the fiance? And then I thought, no, he knows how she is. So he's removed himself from it. This is how she is. She doesn't probably want to be asked either. And if she wants to be like a catty brat about it, well, she's being a catty brat anyways. So we can hope for the best, which is you don't ask her, and she shows up as a mature person, is so happy for you guys, sits in the front row, does her whole thing and just says like, of course I'm not in the wedding, like we're not that close, but I'm so happy for them. I'm great with that. And I think that what the fiance's done is like he's drawn a really good boundary and just said like, I can't count on her because she kind of sucks and she doesn't like my fiance. And in a way, I think you let her play that role. So she's not in the wedding.
Yeah, and
she's still the sister, but she's not in the wedding.
I also think too, like, I don't know anyone who's obsessed with being in weddings to the point where like they want to be in a wedding of someone they don't like. So I feel like you'll just do her a favor. She can sit back, drink her little heart out, and hang out with the family members she talks crap about you with on the sidelines.
Yeah, like what's gonna suck is if you don't ask her and she makes a thing of it. But she doesn't say that. She just says she'll hold it against us forever. I don't think she will. I think you just let her play the role she's earned, which is the sideline role.
Yeah, I don't think you're being an asshole at all. This is your day, and no one that disrespects you should be in your wedding party.
I agree. That sounds like a lot of added stress to have her around. It's just like, well, if you can't play nice, like, no big deal. You're not in it.
Exactly. Oh, easy. Easy peasy.
Yeah, very.
Okay, what is your rec of the week? Also, I know you had a TV show, but I think you also wanted to add in some new ins or outs as well of 2025 already. Bless you.
I thank you. I did want to add in, but now I'm back off of adding them. I can't decide. So I'm going to have to update my 2025 ins and outs later because I can't decide if I want to update them.
Wait, can you tell us?
I thought I did, but I don't.
Can you tell us what you're thinking?
Well, it was the self-care one. Like I said, self-care was out, and now I'm like really into it because I like do my face routine every night, and it like takes a while, and it's like my one time that I like love to have to myself. So I'm like, I don't want to update that.
Okay, I have to say, I totally am with you on that because my skincare routine is literally 6 to 7 steps every night.
And it's like working, and like I love doing it, and if I don't do it, then so I'm just like, I don't want to update that. Or well, I guess that is my update. I guess I said self-care, skin routine, etc. was out, but I think it's actually in. Like I love self-preservation of the face, so
Yeah.
that's my update. I guess that is my update.
I love sticking my Octobuddy to the mirror and watching TikTok while I do my skincare routine.
Okay, I'm a no phone allowed at my skincare routine, actually.
Wait, what do you do then?
I just sit there with my thoughts. Yeah, I do. What is it called? Raw dog. I raw dog my skincare routine.
I feel like when you become a mom, peace and quiet is so much more valuable. So I appreciate that for you.
It's the best. The other day, Harrison was like, "Can you take her?" And I looked at him holding my like face gym thing, and he was like, "Never mind. Like these are your 10 minutes." And I was like, "These are mine. This is my time."
Oh, I love that. Okay, what is your actual rec then?
Okay, it's No Good Deed, the TV show. I watched it all. Did you watch it?
I did. I've seen every episode.
Me too. I thought it was phenomenal.
Also, another show where some oldies but goodies are back in action. Luke Wilson, Lisa Kudrow, Raymond. I'm like, okay.
It's a stacked cast.
Like to the point where I was like, who made this show? Like, how did they get all these people on here?
I thought it was so good. The first episode and a half, I was like, this is so stupid. And then I was like, I can literally not turn this off.
So, do you remember the guy in Presumed Innocence that was trying to make Rusty go to jail? He had like the funny accent. He was a district attorney. He's also
the guy. Yes. I was trying to figure out the whole time where I knew him from. Thank you.
Okay, can we all agree that he had such a weird accent in Presumed Innocence, and then in No Good Deed he had a completely normal voice? I was like, what is going on?
He kept doing this thing, Rusty, like in Presumed Innocent, and it was like so. Yeah, I like loved his character in No Good Deed.
I did too. I was like, why couldn't you have had this accent in Presumed Innocence? But whatever. Yeah, no, that was a good show. I liked that a lot.
What's yours?
So mine is also a TV show. It's on Prime, and it's called On Call. The main character is Spencer from Spencer from Pretty Little Liars. And I usually don't like cop shows, so I was surprised I like this, but I'm like obsessed with it. But it's essentially she's a cop and she has a trainee, and it's just those two kind of like being on call in Long Beach, California. But there's just something about the show that I really like. The trainee is a guy, and obviously Spencer is a girl, but like they show so much emotion about what a new cop would go through. Like, I don't know, their on-screen chemistry too is so good. She's a badass. It's a great show. I find it so weird though because Lori Loughlin is in it. And I'm like, are you in prison? I didn't know she got out of prison.
What? Yeah. Funny. I just never thought I'd see her in anything again. But
same. All of a sudden, I like did a double take and I looked it up and I was like, wait, did you get this gig immediately after you got out? Like, I was like thrown off for a second, but she plays a good. I think she's like the chief.
Good for her. Okay. A little comeback for her.
But great show. Pete doesn't like it, but I'm like, fine, I can watch it by myself then.
I think I might like that. I might give it a shot after I'm so busy with Friday Night Lights, but once I'm done with that, then I will try it.
You're gonna be watching Friday Night Lights for like 6 months. It's like 12 seasons.
Oh, really? I only saw 5.
I know it's.
Is it 12? Maybe only.
I think it's 8. Actually,
everyone like keep asking me where I'm watching it on Friday Night Lights seasons on Apple.
You're watching Apple TV.
Oh my gosh, no, this. Yeah.
Oh, there's only 5 seasons. Why did I feel like that show was so? Oh, because each season's like 22 episodes.
That's why. Okay, so I am still in the first season.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons. Well, the first season's 22 episodes, then it's like 15. But still, like, TV shows now are only like 8 episodes. So to me, even 15, I'm like, whoa, that's such a long season.
I mean, that's like, it's basically like 10 seasons.
Yeah. But I would.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's a show I wish I could erase from my memory so I could rewatch it. It's such a great show. Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. Yeah, it's good.
I love that. But yeah, let me know if you like On Call. It's like a quick I think the episodes are like 30 minutes. It's like 8 episodes, but I really like it. And it's one of those shows where I don't want to look at my phone when I'm watching it. So that's when you know it's good.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. I'll try it. I mean, it might be a bit before I try it, but I will try it.
Okay, perfect. Well, anything else before we sign on off and I get ready to go play some kickball?
Yeah, you got to go warm up. You got to jog around the city a little bit. No, I think that's it.
Okay. We love you guys. Keep sending us your listener questions, am I the asshole topics, and all of that stuff, because we love to hear from you, and we will see you next week.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening to Mean Girl Pod, powered by Just Media House. I'm Alex Bennett.
And I'm Jordyn Woodruff. So, AB, do what you do best.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. We are at Mean Girl Pod on all platforms. Stay connected with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at Mean Girl Pod. Podcast and social artwork and post-production by Creative Evolution Studios. Theme song to the Mean Girl Pod performed by Sergi Asbel. Mean Girl Pod, we're your besties in your ear. New episodes every Monday.